Hello everybody, welcome back again. This is Michael enkouang-Guize, and again we'll be talking today about the inconvenience of working night shift. Why is it so bad to work night shift? My last video I was talking about the reason why it would be much more better to work night shift versus working day shift. When we're talking about, like, for instance, single parents, that would be way more beneficial for them, or people that are stressing to go to school, during the day, and actually have to work at night and just have a little time in the morning to rest. So it comes out that after more research that we did, we cannot disregard the danger that comes with working night shift. And one of the dangers that we can see first up front would be the chaos that the shift can play on the physical body, which means like the fatigue that you can maybe experience during the day. Most of us here driving home after working, we know that whenever the next shift doesn't show up on time, they might give you guys an extra 2 hours of working, an extra 1 hour of working. It becomes hard for you guys to drive from work to home without feeling that stress, that fatigue, or maybe be sleepy. It just depends on how hard you guys work on the previous night. One of the main cause too that night shift would cause on us would be the depression. Working in an environment or like a military environment, we do need like enough rest. And night shift can add into that the depression in the fact that during the night you're much more exposed to injuries and stuff like that in the workplace. And I'm thinking of not just military, maybe also like we're talking about like workers that works in construction workers and stuff like that. During the day, it's actually way more easier, to be able to anticipate and see the danger up front versus during the night, where you might not be able to see the nails that is down, like somewhere that you can step on it, get hurt, or you might not be able to see the end of the road on the other side where you can actually trip and fall, and get injured. One of the main problems too that we can see with night shift, and why it's also really not good to be working, is the fact that more than 80% of people seeking having a type 2 diabetes were also increased. The risk was increased by people actually working night shift, because we working night shift also increase that risk of type 2 diabetes happening. And not just that, it also has problems like cancers. Like one of the examples is breast cancer. That research have proven that lack of sleep, or the fact that people have been working night shift could encounter down the road. Another thing would be sleep deprivation. Naturally our body, we are used to sleep during the night and work during the day. That's what our body was built to do. So now that you have to switch that natural habit or schedule from sleep at night but to sleep in the day, it takes a while. And for other people, it's not that easy to be fixed. They still encounter those sleeping problems, and which also will, after you encounter the sleeping problem, all those follow with like depression and all those kind of problems that comes along. Another fact that we can also like see from having a working night shift would be the increased risk of a heart attack. That's another factor that you should consider and really take into consideration, because in today's day, heart attack in America has been one of the leading causes of death for our folks that are a little bit ahead in age. It has been really problematic. So working night shift is actually adding a little bit of more burden, adding more risk to that. And then we will not also forget the fact that you working night shift, you all the time you will be far from the sun. That gives you that beauty vitamin D that you need, that essential essential mineral that you actually produce, the vitamin D, that you're not going to get naturally from your sun. Yeah, you might be thinking of getting extra food and other element that you're eating, but also while you're trying to do that, you're also putting a lot of sugar in your body by using those energy drinks, like the coffee things and stuff. That's a lot. It's a lot to consider. That's why I really suggest that a night shift is definitely a way to go. and the scientific has proven that it's not to be good, and regardless of what adventure that we have on that. But if you're trying to weigh the adventure that we see versus the consequence, the damage that we're having, I feel safe to say that I would rather work a day shift than night shift. Any questions?
Yes, Makanda. Then I guess would you suppose that there should be a natural rotation between the night shift and day shift workers to try and maintain a balance?
I feel like regardless of whether we're trying to maintain the balance or not, as far as the natural rotation goes, I think you're more concerned of like the relief, whether you can relieve on time or not. But again, what I want to make sure to clarify here is that the fact that you're working night shift, or really naturally, your body can recognize that it's nighttime. I need to shut down my engine, and it's daytime. I need to be up. So even if we have that smooth transition, the smooth rotation versus like going tonight for the next shift, it will be great. It'll still be great. But that still doesn't take away all the consequences or the possible, cause of damage that we can incur in our body as far as like lack of sleep goes. And then not all bodies work the same. So now, as far as like the alternation goes, like you working sometime night shift, you working sometime day shift, it might be a suggestion that might work, but I feel like it would be much more damaging because now you're creating like a lot of unstable habit in your natural life, where your body and the nature need to be stable. You need to have that continuity of like the same habit of sleeping or not. So once you're trying to create all those, now you're gonna start realize that most of the people working night shift, we know that for sure. Most of the people working night shift have those problems of obesity, like getting weight, uncontrolled weight gain that they can't even explain, and those kind of things. So whether you balance going to night or day doesn't really make a difference. I feel like it creates a little bit more like complication. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Makanda.
Thank you very much, sir.